The number on your screen is $847 million. Not your money, never your money. You're just the one who has to model it. It's 11:14 p.m. on a Wednesday. The floor is empty. The Bloomberg terminal hums. You have been here since 7:03 a.m. and you have not eaten a real meal. You are 23 years old and you are, by every external measure, one of the most powerful people in finance. You are also the least powerful person in the building. Most people think Wall Street is a place, a building, a zip code. It's not. Wall Street is a hierarchy so precise it has its own physics. At each level, the rules change completely. The information changes. The access changes. What you're actually selling changes. Nobody draws you the map on the way in. You figure it out by watching who gets the meeting and who gets the calendar invite to prepare for the meeting. You figure it out by noticing whose name is on the term sheet and whose name is not on anything at all. Here is the map nobody gave you. At 11:47 p.m. on your fourth month, a managing director walks past your desk. He doesn't stop. He doesn't look at you, but he picks up the deck you built, 72 slides, 3 all-nighters, 14 revisions, and takes it into a room with 4 other people. 20 minutes later, a $2.3 billion deal is verbally agreed. Your name is not mentioned, not once. The MD's assistant calls for car service. The room goes to dinner. You order a $14 sandwich from the lobby and go back to your screen. That is the moment you understand the system for the first time. At every level below the top, you are infrastructure. The question is not whether you are good at the work. The question is whether you understand what the work is actually for. You earn $110,000 base, all in with bonus, $160,000 to $190,000 in a good year. You work 94 hours a week. The math works out to roughly $33 an hour. Your college roommate is a software engineer making $145,000 at 42 hours a week. Your job is not to think. Your job is to model, format, verify, and revise. You build the spreadsheets that senior bankers present as their own thinking. You fix the font on slide 47 at 2 a.m. because a client's CEO prefers Helvetica. You do not ask why. You do not have access to why. What you are actually buying with those hours is not money. It is pattern recognition. You see hundreds of deals at the structural level. You learn what a good deal looks like before it closes. You cannot use that knowledge yet, but it is accumulating. You stop counting the hours. You start counting the deal structures you now recognize on site. You are 26. Base salary, $175,000. Bonus, $150,000 to $300,000 depending on the year's deal flow. You now manage the analysts. You are responsible for the accuracy of the model, not just the execution of it. Here is the first real change. You are now in the room when the MD explains the deal to the client. You do not speak, but you are there. You watch how a senior banker reads a client's hesitation before the client has finished their sentence. You watch how a number gets framed so that $400 million feels like the obvious and conservative choice. You stop thinking the deal is about the numbers. The numbers are already decided. The meeting is about trust architecture. Vice President, total compensation, $400,000 to $700,000. You now originate work. You are expected to bring clients to the firm, not just service the ones already there. This is where the system reveals its actual shape. The analysts and associates work for the bank. The VP begins to work for the relationship. You spend 30% of your time outside the office, at dinners, at conferences, at board meetings for companies you don't represent yet. You are building a network that, in 10 years, will be worth more than your salary history. This is also where most people stop advancing. Not because they fail, because the next level requires something most people cannot manufacture. The willingness to be entirely personally responsible for revenue, not execution. Revenue. You stop being valued for what you know. You start being valued for who will take your call. Total compensation, $1.2 million to $4 million, depending on deal flow and sector. You are now officially a franchise. Your personal relationships generate 8 to 12 figures in annual fees for the firm. The bank does not employ you, it partners with you. You have not built a financial model in 6 years. You will never build one again. What you do is simpler and far harder. You sit across from a CFO at a $9 billion industrial company and you make them feel that you understand their problem better than they do. Then you explain the solution. Then you name your fee. The fee is $18 million. The CFO agrees before you finish the sentence. That is what 15 years of accumulated trust looks like when it converts. 3 marriages end at the MD level for every 5 that survive. 41% of senior bankers report that their children describe them as absent in family surveys conducted anonymously by HR consultants hired to address retention. The numbers are not hidden. They are simply not discussed in the same rooms where the compensation packages are negotiated. The system does not ask you to make this trade-off explicitly. It simply rewards the people who make it without being asked. This is where the architecture changes entirely. The MD executes other people's capital. The principal, the partner at a private equity firm, the portfolio manager at a hedge fund, the founding GP at a venture firm, deploys their own, or rather, they deploy institutional capital, but their personal stake is in every deal. Carried interest, is the mechanism, a 20% share of profits above a hurdle rate. On a $500 million fund returning 2.4 times, the carry pool is $140 million. Divided among 6 partners, that is not salary. That is a different category of money entirely. You stop earning income. You start building a balance sheet. You thought the top would feel different. It doesn't. The office is quieter. The furniture is better. The meetings are shorter because the people in them have stopped needing to prove things. The number in your account has 9 figures. You check it the same way you check the Bloomberg terminal at 23. What you notice is not the money, it's the phone. It rings differently now. The people on the other end are heads of state, sovereign wealth fund managers, central bank governors. The system didn't give you access to them. You accumulated it. One relationship at a time, one deal at a time, over 22 years. Somewhere, a 23-year-old is staring at a Bloomberg terminal at 11:14 p.m. The floor is empty. The number on the screen is $847 million. Not their money, never their money. They are just the one who has to model it. They think this is about finance. They are already wrong. It was never about the models. It was about who eventually owns the room. The machine doesn't stop. It just finds new people to run it.